and welcome to our special look at Atomic Frontier Day, which is a community event coming up on Saturday, September 14th in Richland's Howard Amon Park. I'm Holly Logan with the City of Richland, and joining me today are two of the event coordinators, Becky Burkhart, National Park Services Site Manager for the Hanford Unit of the Manhattan Project National Historical Park, and Jillian Gardner-Andrews, Project Coordinator for the Hanford History Project at WSU Tri-Cities. Welcome to you both.
Thank you, Holly.
Thanks for being here. So other planning partners on our committee include the Port of Benton. So we want to give the Port of Benton a little shout out. We're excited to host an event, as I said, coming up on September 14th in honor of the 75th anniversary of the Manhattan Project. Jillian, can you start off by telling us what Atomic Frontier Day is and give us a little bit of history behind the event?
So Atomic Frontier Days were started in 1948 and it was held in Richland. It was a community event to celebrate the work that was done on the Hanford site and just bring everyone together for a fun experience. It included parades, carnivals, lots of different community events, and celebrities would come from Hollywood, and it was just a really big to-do. And so to honor the 75th anniversary of the Manhattan Project, we are going to be bringing back this historic event for a one-day event. And we're specifically holding this event in September to commemorate the startup of B Reactor, so the 75th anniversary of the startup of B Reactor.
Okay, great. And like we said, it's Saturday, September 14th at Howard Amon Park, and the event kicks off with a parade at 11 a.m. and then following that, down in the park from 1 to 8 p.m. there will be all sorts of activities throughout the day, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about some of those events that will be happening. But let's start off with Jillian, share a little bit more with us about the parade and what's involved with that.
So the parade will begin at 11 o'clock, as you were saying, and travel a little over a mile down Jadwin, starting at Simons and ending at Mansfield. There will be floats, historic vehicles, Girl Scouts, a whole bunch of just really fun stuff in the parade. And people can sit along Jadwin and watch this. And if for more information or questions about the parade, you can go to the City of Richland's website in their Atomic Frontier Days page, or you can call Sherry Gartside at 942-7462 for questions about the parade.
Great. And Sherry is one of our Parks and Recreation coordinators, and she's helping with coordination of the entire event, but also the parade. So she's a great resource in anything to do with this event. Becky, what will people see when they arrive at Howard Amon Park at 1 p.m.?
So we're trying to recreate, because this is a celebration, commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the Manhattan Project. So when they arrive at Howard Amon Park, the first stop will be the badging booth. Much like when workers arrived here to Hanford during the Manhattan Project era, most of them came in to Pasco on the train, and then they hopped a bus and they came over to Hanford. At Hanford, they had to go get their housing assignments, they had to get banking, visit the labor office and security. So they had to go through all these stops to get access to the site and to start their job. So when you come to the Atomic Frontier Days, you'll stop at the badging office, pick up your badge, and go to our 10 exhibitors, and each one will have a different stamp, whether it's for banking or for visiting the 100, 200 areas or for security. And so after you get all 10 of those stamps, you then go to the security office over at the Richland Community Center, get your picture taken, and get your take-home souvenir badge.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it'll be a great souvenir item and a great way to learn more about the history of the Manhattan Project.
Sure, great storytelling for anyone participating. One thing that's really exciting too is we're going to have an authentic mess hall. Jillian, can you tell us a little bit more about what people can expect with the mess hall?
Yeah, this will be a meal that will be really similar to what a Hanford worker would eat at a mess hall during the Manhattan Project. And we will have mashed potatoes, meatloaf, green beans, rolls, all the really great 1940s food.
Comfort food.
And this will be the only ticketed portion of Atomic Frontier Days. So this will be $7 for a ticket, and those tickets will be available at the Richland Community Center for purchase prior to the event. And we really want to say thank you to CG Catering for putting on this 1940s era meal. And we are really excited about having the mess hall dinner and being able to redo that. There will be 2 different times for the mess hall, 4:30 and 6 o'clock, and they will be buffet style, so you'll just get your ticket for your specific time and travel through the buffet line and eat your 1940s meal.
That's great. It's going to be a really hearty meal, and you finish off with an icebox cake, right?
Yes.
Isn't that? Yeah. Which we got to check out some of the samples of that, and it looks really yummy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's great. And like you mentioned, this is really the only ticketed portion of the event. The rest of the day and activities are all free, very family friendly, and it will be worth the $7 for sure to be able to participate in this meal. So that's great. So let's talk about some of the other scheduled events throughout the day. A full schedule of events, by the way, is available on the city's website at ci.richland.wa.us/Atomic Frontier Day. And some of the specific times are subject to change, so keep that in mind. But again, we're kicking off the event with opening ceremonies at 1 p.m., which will take place right in front of the fingernail stage. So if those of you out there aren't familiar with where that is located, it's right off of Lee Landing, right down in Howard Amon Park. And we'll have all throughout the day, just about every 30 minutes or hour, we will have music, dancers, musical theater performances that are kind of throwback to the 1940s era. In addition, there will be movies, historical movies, and artifacts on display at the Richland Community Center all throughout the day. Am I missing anything as far as other activities?
Weren't a lot of the performers that day, they're like the master singers and the Richland players who have a long history in this community. So today, the Atomic Frontier Days is about celebrating community, and these organizations are a key part of our community. So it's a great way to enjoy great recreation and entertainment and learn about the history of this area.
That's great.
And the final event for the day will be a swing band doing 1940s era music. This will be Less Stress and the Testers, and they will be the final 2 hours of the event.
Which is also free.
Yes.
Yeah. So that'll be some fun swing music for everyone to listen to. Becky, what are some of the other activities and exhibitors who will be in attendance throughout the park?
We will have the Wampum Discovery Bus.
Okay.
Also, we'll have the historic bus from the Reach Museum out there for folks to walk around. Battelle will be hosting STEM demonstrations. There will be a kids corner with the Celebration of Science and the National Park Service offering hands-on kids activities. So a lot of great things going on for all ages.
So this is for both of you. What is going to be your favorite part, Jillian? What are you most excited about?
I'm really excited about all of the displays that will be held in the community center. So we'll have an alphabet house scene using historic artifacts. We'll have a 1940s era Hanford office scene, and then a bunch of different historic photos and artifacts also within the community center. So along with the artifacts and historic displays in the community center, we also will be showing historic films within the community center, and Richland Senior Association will be present selling their Alphabet House ornaments and a bunch of fun souvenirs. So it'll be a really great opportunity to have people check out all of the different history that we have available in our area.
What about you, Becky?
I'm really looking forward to we're hosting a Remembrance Room in the Richland Community Center, and it's in collaboration with Hanford History Project, and it's a way to reach out to the community and get stories, gather stories, especially as the National Park Service works to help share the story of the Manhattan Project and the rich history of this area. And so we were looking for oral history vignettes for folks who lived and worked in the Tri-Cities up until 1950s, or people who have memories of folks who worked here, like parents or grandparents. And we're also asking community members to share their photos from that era as well. So if folks would like to send in photos, what's the address, Jillian?
HanfordHistory75@gmail.com.
Okay.
So community members can share their photos digitally, and we will print them and have them up for display during the event. Or if folks want to bring them in to the community center during Atomic Frontier Days, we will share them as well. And then the information that is collected during the Remembrance Room will be archived at the Hanford History Project, and the National Park Service will use some of those materials to help share the stories here.
That's great. So Becky, what are some other things that we should let our viewers know about in preparation for Atomic Frontier Day?
Well, this will be a great outdoor event, so be prepared to be outside all day. And if you're interested in watching the concerts, bring chairs and blankets for the concert. There will be food trucks available in the park as well. And then we're hoping for a great turnout, so parking might be tricky. Please check the city's website for parking in advance so you know where to go.
That's great. We'd also like to give a special shout out to all of our sponsors, our financial sponsors. We couldn't make this day happen without the support of some of our local partners. Our premier sponsor is Leidos, Jacobs, Permafix, Bechtel, Battelle, Framatome, the Port of Benton, the Friends of the Richland Library, RDO Equipment, and Cadleg. Cadleg is also celebrating their 75th anniversary. So several of these partners who are either contractors out on the Hanford site or other community partners have stepped up, and we're thrilled to have them on to help us put this event on. So Jillian, let's talk about some of the other community events that are going on in honor of the Hanford 75th anniversary.
Yeah, there's a bunch going on in September and in the whole year to celebrate this anniversary. So the week after Atomic Frontier Day on September 21st, the Department of Energy and Bike Tri-Cities are getting together for their annual Ride the Reactor. So this is a bike trip around the historic B reactor, which is now a part of the Manhattan Project National Historical Park. Then the week after that, the Mid-Columbia Master Singers will be performing at B reactor. They've done concerts for years and they're really great. The acoustics within the reactor are just fantastic. And this will be a brand new show that they've never done before out at the reactor. And then the Richland Players actually are celebrating their 75th anniversary as well. And they are doing a bunch of different plays, one from each decade, so 40s, 50s, 60s, etc., to highlight the plays they've done in the past to celebrate their history. So for the Hanford 75th celebrations as well, the Hanford History Project is hosting a museum exhibit at WSU Tri-Cities in the Art Center. This exhibit is titled People of the Manhattan Project, Building an Atomic City. And this is much more focused on the personal side of the Manhattan Project story and the people that were working here and helped to build the Hanford site as well as Richland into the city that it is today.
And our viewers can go to hanford75th.com. There is a community website that lists all of the events that are in recognition of Hanford's 75th anniversary. So from the City of Richland's perspective, I think the Hanford site and the Manhattan Project being established 75 years ago has really impacted where we are as a city today and the industry and the diversity that we have in our community. And then it also kind of helps us as we look towards the future. So what are some of the things that you guys have in your perspective positions and with your organizations to look forward to in the future? Becky?
Well, events like Atomic Frontier Days is a great way for us to share that history. I mean, there's world-changing events that happened right here in our backyard. And these events help reconnect our local community, younger generations to that history. And as the Manhattan Project National Historical Park builds its presence in the community, this helps us share that history not only here locally, but with our national audience, the folks that come out on the B Reactor tour to learn more, as well as our international audience, because this was a world-changing event that happened here at Hanford. And so through community events like this, we're able to share that history.
Right. I think more than anything, it's highlighting that sense of patriotism that all of these individuals came and answered that call to serve their country. In closing, I'd like to thank my guests today for talking about this great community event, Atomic Frontier Day, on Saturday, September 14th. For more information about this event, you can go to the city's website at ci.richland.wa.us/Atomic Frontier Day. There will be other events throughout the month that we've talked about today, and you can visit hanford75th.com to learn more about these events. Come on out and take part in the free family-friendly Atomic Frontier Day and learn about the history of our community. Thanks for watching. I'm Holly Logan.